Hey everyone, Nubkeks here and welcome back to Heroes of the Storm. Some ranked gameplay here for you today. I'm going to be busting out a hero that I haven't really played in a very long time. And I don't think I've done a proper commentary game ever for this hero. I don't think even once. And it's going to be Tracer. We're going to be playing Tracer in this particular game. It's funny, I actually played her loads when she came out and I loved her and it was great. And at the time I was actually really good at her. But then I don't know why, but I kind of stopped playing her. She got nerfed a little bit as well. I just drifted away and just haven't picked her up in forever and ever and ever. And just in the last while, I've been saying, you know what, Nubkeks, you need to cover some of these heroes you haven't covered. And you guys have been giving great suggestions in the comments as well for different heroes that you would like to see me play, which is good because sometimes, like, it's great when you leave those suggestions. I do forget sometimes, you know? I'll be like, yeah, I think I covered that hero recently, and then I'll look, and it's been 7 months or something, and go, oh, yeah, whoops. And things have changed since then. So we're going to be playing Tracer here in this game. Blackheart's Bay, pretty decent map for Tracer. I'm going to talk quite a bit about the map, because it's quite a wonky map. Ironically, we were talking about how much we dislike this map before the video. Yeah, so why is Tracer good on this map? Couple of reasons. Number one, the chests that spawn. Tracer can destroy those chests incredibly quickly. She attacks 8 times per second, and the chests work on a just per attack the smashy of the chest. So, you know, every time you attack the chest, it loses 1 hit point. So heroes that attack really quick, like even Genji, Tassadar, Tracer, the best one, will shred through that chest and you get those coins out really fast. So if you are on point, you can actually sneak in and grab a chest in like a second or two and then be gone out of there. Can make it very difficult and give you a big lead in terms of the coins. On top of that, she also she's very good at ganking heroes and securing kills, which is another huge part of how Blackheart's Bay plays. If you can catch someone out of position when they're trying to farm the lanes for XP or farm the mercenaries for coins, you can kind of exploit that and get a nice little kill. Initially, I was hovering Illidan, by the way. We don't go for that. Anyway, the Nubkeks first pick, I think it's fantastic. The enemy team responds with Li Ming and Genji. Now, the Li Ming pick is kind of weird. One thing she does have going for her is that, you know, she's pretty good in the team fights that can happen. And she certainly as well can shred through the chest pretty quick. She's okay in the early game with her magic missiles. And then Disintegrate late game if she does grab that, well, mid game. That will shred through the chest super quick as well. That hits roughly as fast as Tracer does, so it's pretty damn good. Yeah, so pretty interesting draft strategy going on here. Super happy our teammate picked up a Nubkeks. He was hovering a couple of other warriors, I think, that would not have been as good. A Nubkeks is the best warrior still. Wouldn't be surprised now if he is nerfed in this PTR Stukov patch. The day I'm recording this, that patch will be out tomorrow. I'm not sure when this video will go live, but wouldn't be surprised if Nubkeks is nerfed. I was surprised he wasn't nerfed in the previous patch, but he's the best warrior in the game. Cocoon is insanely OP, so that is fantastic. It will give us a great counter to the Genji. Dragon Blade as well. Look, Genji pops Dragon Blade. Throw him the Cocoon. Bye-bye Genji. Feels bad for you. Interestingly, Nubkeks really good against Li Ming's basic abilities, but she has been picked up as a counter pick to Cocoon because Disintegrate, super reliable spell, super short cooldown, and it will just, you know, churn out loads and loads of damage. You can see at this point, another sort of drafting thing. So we've got a Nubkeks, we've got Rhaegar, we've got Tassadar. It would be fantastic at this point to get, you know, well, Vala, they banned Vala out, but, you know, Greymane, something to combo with that Tassadar would be fantastic. Now our teammate wants to pick Nazeebo, which really doesn't work that well on the map. And it really doesn't synergize with what we've already got. So it's kind of going, why Nazeebo? Take a look at his profile. Oh, Nazeebo's his most played hero. Look, in that case, we'll let him be and he can play Nazeebo. It's going to be fine. I was thinking of doing Illidan or Greymane. However, the Arthas pick definitely put me off playing those heroes. So I decided, you know, what the heck? Why don't I play a Tracer game? She's great on the map. She will synergize fantastically with Tassadar. We can actually pressure out Li Ming. Tracer does have a bad matchup into Genji. That fast attack speed I was mentioning doesn't bode too well when Genji hits deflect. It's so quick that you won't be able to stop it, and you'll end up pumping, you know, a good few attacks into that Genji deflect, and he'll throw out loads of kunai and do loads and loads of damage. So that can be relatively awkward. He also has the mobility to kind of punish you a good bit. So that's not a great matchup, but I figured I'd probably go for it. And saying apologies, team, to my 2 friends here who queued up with me, who are on the 2 supports. I was like, yeah, sorry guys, you're gonna have to support my Tracer First time I think I've ever played Tracer in a ranked game. Maybe second time. I've barely ever played her anyway, so thanks guys for putting up with me. I hope you'll be alright with it. So there you go. We're going to hop into the game. I'll see you there, and we'll see how this Blackheart's Bay game goes. Alright guys, and here we are loading into Blackheart's Bay. My goal as Tracer in this game will be to, find and kill the enemy team's vulnerable heroes. Genji's going to be difficult to kill, but if we play around his cooldowns, we could possibly punish him. The enemy team actually last picked Cassia, and that's going to be a challenge. Whenever she's moving 65 physical armor, well, that's 65 basically % of our damage gone. Well, from our basic attacks. Our melee, our W, and our pulse bomb, of course, will still do full damage, but she'll be pretty difficult for us to kill. Arthas as well has got physical armor. He'll be fairly challenging. Malf and Li Ming are the ones we are looking for. Once we hit the mid game, Malf is going to be tough because Twilight Dream could really ruin our day. If we get Twilight Dreamed when we're deep in the enemy team, can't use recall, can't use our blinks for a while. We could get focused down and killed in that situation when we have none of our mobility or escapes available to us. So that's something to watch out for, but when we play around Twilight Dream, we should be able to punish Malf pretty well. And then Li Ming, very much a hero that we can punish. She's a long range, very mobile assassin. Well, guess what? We're Tracer, we're more mobile, and we can close that gap very quickly. Li Ming also skill shot based. Oh, yeah, we're so mobile, we can basically counteract all of her strengths. We close the gap. She can't actually escape from us too easily, and we can dodge a lot of her skills pretty well. This is a mistake. Chest spawn at 50 seconds. I was hoping to do like a double clear on both the waves. You see, we're actually late. Genji clears out the chest and actually steals 4 coins. That is a mistake from me. Bad rotation there. Actually, I led that rotation for the team, and it was not good. We were too late to get to the chest, and we really, really wanted to beat to that one. It's actually very bad. That was a very, very big mistake. You really should be aiming usually to get 5 of the coins, to get 1 of the first chests and then give 1 up. It's usually, roughly speaking, what you're aiming for. Maybe you steal a coin here or there. But the enemy team has so many heroes down bottom, we should really have been getting that one, no question about it. So missing out on it is a big mistake and pretty derpy. That was my fault. Especially seeing as we got Tracer, we got Tastar, even Rehgar. We could have killed that chest so quickly and effortlessly. Leaving it up those couple of seconds for the Genji to steal away, bad idea, and puts us at a disadvantage in the early game. Now, luckily, we did get a bit of return pressure, right? We destroyed a couple of those towers in the mid lane, which is actually worth a fair bit. So it was good that we got that done. Very happy about doing that. We managed to punish them in that sense. Like, sure, you left the Genji kind of top. Genji Li Ming, very little wave clear. You managed to steal the chest, and that's good for you, but we're going to get some return value, and we are going to come in here, and we're going to actually destroy your towers. So, in the end, it works out somewhat alright, because the structural damage we're doing will equate to a few chests. Apologies if there's clanking in the background. That is people cleaning in the kitchen. Rip. Oh well. Gotta live with it now, I guess. So, you see, this is a really interesting start to the game. Both teams lack a good double soaker up top. This is really, usually, it's the most standard way of playing Blackheart's Bay, right? You've got these 2 lanes right up at the top. They're kind of isolated. There's not much going on there. You've got loads of merc camps to take and fight over in the bottom. And that's really what you want to fight over. So, usually people do focus onto putting a hero like Zul, Gul'dan, Leoric, any of those kind of heroes that can quickly soak 2 lanes. Leave those in the top 2 lanes, kind of on their own, and they're fairly safe as well. Like, Zul, Leoric, they're pretty safe. Hey, even if you kill Leoric, he's going to respawn. He's not going to miss out on too much, and you can actually generate a pretty big advantage by doing that. You still get the XP for both of those lanes up top, and then your team is free to play the rest of the map, to play the coin game, play the merc game, and get advantages that way. Sneak a turn in here because there's nothing really better to do at the time. And we find an Arthas here, so we're going to try focus him down a little bit. While we're chasing the Arthas, we're trying to stay close enough to keep up fire on him without actually moving into his slowing field if possible. And this is unfortunate. We don't have the vision-y thing at level 1. Let me check what it's called. And we get killed by Genji, because Genji got resets off killing an Uberak. That's unfortunate for us. We don't have Tracer rounds at level 1, so we don't have the vision when he moves into a brush. And he was able to escape. Nazeebo, very slow to actually come up to that rotation. He was fighting minions down bottom. So we missed out on a kill on Arthas, which sucks, because he had 7 coins. And we do ultimately get picked off by the Genji Swift Strike reset. So that was pretty unfortunate for us there. Luckily, Tass is in position to take these coins, so we're not going to miss out too much on the chest phase. This comp, actually, you know, the flexibility in terms of chests that Tass Tracer offers us, having some benefit there. Let me cover the talents I've taken so far. So at level 1, I took Pulse Strike. Normally, your melee attack, your W, will charge your Pulse Bomb by 10%. This increases it to charge your Pulse Bomb by 20% against heroes. So it's just more Pulse Bombs in the team fight, and just ensures that your Pulse Bomb will be up more consistently. It's kind of a big deal in the early game as Tracer. You noticed I did kill, like, for example, the Li Ming, and I've been pressuring the Li Ming a fair bit, because she's such an easy target to pressure as Tracer. But whenever you get Pulse Bomb, you are really looking for a gank, looking for a kill, because of the amount of single target damage that it does churn out. Right here, poking away at the Artanis, seeing if we can maybe get him low enough to dive him and get a kill. Not gonna happen. Our Tassadar is actually double soaking at the moment, and he's doing a reasonable job of it, actually. Certainly, you can see the enemy team, they've actually got stuck with 2 heroes doing this, Cassia and Li Ming, having to match that Tassadar, and that means that we have extra heroes around the map. So that's a pretty big win for us. Lurking this brush. Hello, Arthas. We're going to burst him down with our spells here. Come in, dive a little bit. Okay, the enemy team is here. We're just going to recall out, and it's not too big of an issue. Again, we know that the enemy team is not in the best spot in terms of the map, so we can take some of these fights. There you go, Cassia, really nice zombie wall there, actually gets her stuck out of position, and we're able to focus her down. I'm going to shoot the Genji a little bit. Luckily, he's just out of range, so he doesn't get too much value out of that deflect, but it's something very, very scary, and we're trying to get these coins turned in here. Li Ming has arrived. The Nubkeks dives in. We're going to go in behind the enemy team here. Just focus that Li Ming. Remember, she is not a threat to us while she's behind. Going to recall out. Unfortunately, we get stuck behind with the Genji. Uh-oh, not too good. I should have actually, at that point, moved in for a melee attack. We know we're going to die. There's no point really in juking around. Unfortunately, Arthas walks out with a sliver of HP. So that actually worked out relatively, a little bit of bad luck there, honestly. Could have squeezed out a bit more damage by moving in for that melee attack, which probably would have secured that kill. So that was a little bit of a mistake there for me. But yeah, you can see when we get into these fights, I'm actually diving the backline fairly aggressively here and trying to absorb some of that attention. Now, one thing which I didn't realize until later in the game, but that's putting us at a big disadvantage, is... look at that right there. You see that, by the way? The disadvantage is no Cocoon on a Nubkeks, but did you see that? Like, dived in on Genji, full HP Tracer, he pops Deflect, and uh-oh, that was like 80% of her HP gone. Just HP evaporated. Now, it was fine to do it. We didn't lose out on anything by doing that. You know, it cost us a bit of time, but we're really not in a position to actually contest this anyway. So, no problem, really. We're back by the time the team fight starts, so it's okay. Li Ming is chasing us, isn't that nice? I actually messed up there. So what I should have done there, level 4, Parting Gift was the talent I took, which will drop 3 bombs whenever I recall. So should have used that to actually hit the Tracer, not the Tracer, should have used that to hit the Li Ming, which would have finished her off and got the kill. We're chasing her down now. A Nubkeks does get the kill, well done a Nubkeks. We switched over to Arthas, see if we can focus him down. He does have 8 coins. Now he's going to get away. At this point, you can see he's got too much defenses there. We don't have enough damage to actually pick him up. So we're actually going to switch over and start stealing away some of these coin camps. So yeah, I think this is an interesting game. I think it's a good game because you can see some of these opportunities for doing the Tracer things, and watching it in the sort of the post game. You can see like, oh yeah, there's an opportunity there to get a kill that you missed by not using that spell. Big mistake not looking at the map. We get saved by Tassadar. Thank you very much. Always be paying attention, especially against a Genji who is so mobile, even against Li Ming as well. We really need to be a bit more careful in terms of our rotations, and end up taking a ton of damage and almost dying. That was very, very careless. Yeah, so Pulse Strike at 1, Parting Gift at 4. At level 7 I went for Jumper. This just gives us an extra charge of Blink, just for some guaranteed flexibility. Honestly, I quite like all of them at 7. I think you can kind of fit that pretty easily to your playstyle. And to, you know, let's say, I mean, picking up the resets of when you get a hero takedown could be very valuable if you've got a guaranteed hero takedown that you can go for. In this case, I'm kind of going, well, you know, we've got a Twilight Dream Malf. Well, you know, we're assuming at that stage Malf is going to take Twilight Dream against the Tracer, so that's going to be something to watch out for. Missed the Pulse Bomb like a boss, kind of a fail. Actually could have gone harder there, and could have picked up that kill on Li Ming for sure. If I had played that better. Again, didn't expect that Tassadar shield to come in. That was a point where you know, just not being super experienced with the combo and not having the voice comms, because I'm recording this raw video, meant that I didn't know there was a Tassadar shield coming. If we had known that, if we were more coordinated, again, you could see that right there. Tass could have said, yo, I'm going to give you a shield, keep going, keep going, keep going. I wouldn't have had to recall out, and we could have actually been more aggressive. So, I mean, that's just my inexperience with the combo, and then no voice comms. But again, showing you guys some of the opportunities to make some of these bigger plays when you do get a little bit more comfortable with the Tracer. Also, I do start missing, as you've seen, a few of these pulse bombs as we go later in the game. I was pretty good with them at the start, and now I'm ballsing up a little bit, which is kind of derpy. At level 10, I do go for Quantum Spike, and this makes it extra important you do land those pulse bombs, which I haven't been doing too consistently. So your pulse bomb, when you stick it to an enemy hero, will explode. Well, once it explodes after being stuck to an enemy hero, will do an additional 10% of their max HP as damage, which is a huge deal and just really enables that single target pick potential that Tracer has. It's really fantastic, and it does an awful lot of damage. Right here, I mean, this is a pretty obvious rotation. You can see, for example, I missed that pulse bomb, which is really derpy. Now, we're still going to get these kills, but we could have got those kills a little bit sooner. Well, there's a 90-second cooldown used by Nazeebo that he didn't need to use. You know, he didn't need to use it there even after we missed, but that's actually bad now I'm watching it backwards in terms of if I'd hit that pulse bomb, Nazeebo probably wouldn't have felt the need to waste his cooldown, so we would have been one ultimate up if I'd actually hit, so that's kind of interesting. You can see in the game I'm well aware. I'm letting my teammates know, like, yeah, sorry guys, I know I'm missing these pulse bombs. I'm bad at 0 sometimes. Level 13, Bullet Spray. This increases the radius of our melee by 40%, just makes it more consistent to land, and it also does AoE damage. It hits everything in range. So it gives Tracer some nice wave clear, which is going to be, you know, good for wave clear, good for taking merc camps as well, and just a bit more consistent damage in the team fight too. This is pretty much the only talent you really see taken at level 13. It's just so useful and so flexible. So that's what we've gone for here. Moving into level 16, this is where it gets interesting. You've got 3 abilities that all improve your basic attack damage. The base one, Sleight of Hand, you reload twice as fast, so basically it's 20% more DPS from basic attacking, and it's super easy to use. I went for the middle option here in this game, which is Focus Fire, which is if we fire an entire magazine into a single enemy, the last bullet will do a big chunk of damage, which will give us 35% more overall DPS. I said overall, that's worth it for taking mercs, for taking bosses, focusing down a single target, getting an extra 15% total DPS there, that's going to be well worth it. Now, the downside, of course, is that you won't always fire an entire magazine into an enemy hero. For example, you might have to recall out before you fire that last bullet. You might miss, they might go invulnerable, something might happen, they might, you know, Genji might Swift Strike away, okay, and we fire our other bullet into someone else. So there's a downside to that. The best option, if you can do it, but it's very difficult, is Locked and Loaded. If this, you have to reactivate your reload within the last 50% of its cast time, and that will improve your basic attack damage by 40% for the entire magazine. So basically, compared to Focus Fire, which I took, it's 40% for every bullet of the magazine, as opposed to getting an extra 35% total damage delivered on the last bullet. So it's 5% more damage overall, but it's much more consistently delivered, okay? But the disadvantage is that adds a lot of skill in terms of Tracer to actually get that reflex of doing the reload at the right time every single time. So if you are comfortable with Tracer, that is the best talent. However, if like me, you're not a Tracer expert, she's not one of your main heroes, then you probably want to steer away from this talent, because either in the heat of the battle, you're going to concentrate on other things and you're going to miss that reload and you're going to lose out on that bonus damage, or you're going to have to devote so much of your brain power to remembering to do it that you're actually going to, you know, screw up big time, and you're going to make mistakes in other situations, like walk into a skill shot or, you know, miss something else that you should have really gotten just because your concentration is elsewhere. That's generally a tip I give for a lot of heroes. You know, talents that make a hero much more difficult, you generally speaking want to avoid those if there's nothing much to gain out of it. Tassadar going deep, pretty bad idea there. There's 5 enemy heroes here and there's only 3 of us. Tassadar almost dead. We're going to dive in here and just try to scare the enemy team away. Missed that pulse bomb again, but that one I didn't mind. That one I was like, yeah, that's fine. I'm just trying to keep Tassadar alive at this point. Just scare them away as much as we can, just to try to save him, because he was in a bad spot. We really don't want to lose Tassadar right now. Nubkeks going deep. Rhaegar's not there. Tastar's almost dead. So that is not good for us. The Nubkeks does get picked off. And at this point, we are in a rough spot as well. Going to juke up this way, but uh-oh, enemy team moving in because we do have that dead Nubkeks. We're going to come in and kill the Cassia with our melee, but now we are going to be chased down by the Genji Leeming, get killed, and actually drop a whole lot of coins. So, yeah, definitely this is a big throw. Number of things going on there. The Tastar overextension, then a Nubkeks diving in and getting killed, giving the Genji the Leeming resets, then they could chase us down. So that was kind of bad. I'm also, it's funny here, I'm kind of criticizing the team. It's also partially my fault, got a bit too greedy on that bottom fight. Sure, we traded 1 for 1, but I had a lot of coins and died. Probably should have just run away and let a Nubkeks die. Kind of felt pressured to help him out at least somewhat, because otherwise he was diving in totally YOLO and would have been just one of our heroes dead for nothing. So that was definitely a mistake from me. Well, mistake from a number of people, yours truly included. But yeah, it's a pretty big throw here. You can see we're just kind of going too deep for things we really shouldn't be, taking big risks, and that's actually costing us quite a lot. Because we're way ahead at this point, and this is actually turning into kind of a throw. Just the lack of patience here on Blackheart's Bay. Rhaegar going very far forwards. Nubkeks actually overextending massively here. Dives in. The enemy team, the Cassia and the Genji, are rotating in. I'm nowhere nearby. Genji pops Dragon Blade. Here comes the whole enemy team, and Nubkeks keeps diving forwards actually and misses his stun, so that's not really helping anyone. We're coming in just kind of desperately trying to do what we can here. Just trying to save who we can, but teammates are going down. We get picked off by the resets, and that is 4 of us dead for nothing. Big overextension by the team. You know, like Niku on the Rhaegar there, that was pretty aggressive. I think he could have gotten away with it, but the Nubkeks diving in was definitely way too ham. And just left our team open for Genji to dive. Also, this was the point in the game where I realized he doesn't have Cocoon. I was like, wait, how did Genji Dragon Blade our whole team? I mean, Leeming didn't take Disintegrate. I mean, apart from Cassia fend, but Cassia was a little bit late to that fight. How did Genji get out of the Cocoon and Dragon Blade us? Oh, wait a second, we don't have Cocoon. We don't have like the most OP heroic in the entire game. That hard counters Genji. Strange. So that definitely makes things awkward. Like, how do we deal with Dragon Blade? Well, our comp really can't. Basically, it really can't. I mean, we can try to kill him. I guess that's the main thing. He doesn't have a Divine Shield or something. But definitely making this awkward. Would have been so, like, Cocoon... That's the thing, the Nazebo, like I was saying in the draft, doesn't quite fit in. Because we have the basis of a really strong dive comp, you know? Like, Tassadar can actually dive with us relatively reasonably, but like Rhaegar can dive in, Tracer can dive in, and Nubkeks can dive in, Cocoon someone, and then we take this big, very dive focused fight. So obviously the Nazebo doesn't fit very well in that, and certainly the lack of Cocoon definitely doesn't fit well. But there you go. You can see at this point, the enemy team was, I felt pretty obviously and badly spread around the map. And this is a huge mistake from them, just in terms of map awareness. So we want to go super aggressive here. We did. Made the call to go for the boss. Great. We sneak a boss. And this is a boss on an open core, which is actually on 70% health. So this is massive pressure on the enemy team. We're trying to force this fight down here as hard as we can. We dive in on the Leeming, then recall back out again. We're onto the Artanis, and shit is going down. Our team is in a little bit of a rough spot. Genji goes too deep. We're able to pick him off. Cassia goes in. We're going to pulse bomb her. Hit her with the melee attack. She does go down. To the bottom looks like, I think Nazebo, either that was interrupted or it just cancelled early. Enemy team is split up though. That's 3 heroes down. We're chasing. Step to the right. Wait for the force wall to expire so we don't get hit by the roots. There you go. 5 enemy heroes down and we actually push through. The boss is on core and fantastic. I thought that was a really interesting end to the game right there. The enemy team was coming back in a huge way. It was pretty damn scary for a while. I was kind of panicking. But then at the end, saw that the enemy team was too split up across the map. We had the opportunity to race the boss, go up, grab the boss, race down, and know we can take it before they get there. Then we got a boss on core. The enemy team is going to be in disarray because that's a terrible thing to have to try to defend. That's a huge win condition for us. Pretty much like the only way we could have won the game right there, and they didn't defend the boss, which is bizarre. Very, very bad rotation from them. We're able to exploit it and then like dive in and punish them because they're going to be panicking over the boss. Now it got very close. That was a messy team fight. Very messy team fight, but we did pull it off in the end. Interesting game there. Yeah, the Zebo Toad belt. If it hits, if all the toads hit Genji at Dragon Blade, that's actually one way to counter it. That was kind of intriguing, you know? I've never seen that before, and I see how it kind of works. Like, the poison just lasts through deflect, and with no divine shield, there's no way to cleanse that off, and he's just going to take loads of damage and, you know, be stuck. That's a very interesting counter to him, which is not normal at all. So there you guys go. That is Tracer. Should be talent build coming up here on the left-hand side of the screen in a second. Thought it was an interesting game. And hopefully gave you some insight into some of the cool plays that you can do with Tracer, and then also pointed out some of the areas where I could have made cool plays but didn't, but still kind of hopefully illuminating some of that stuff for you. She's a really nice hero. Combos really well with Tassadar. Obviously the shields give her the HP to dive and give her loads of self-healing because she does so much basic attack damage. And yeah, she's definitely a high skill cap hero that will flourish the more that you play her. And she's a lot of fun, can make some big plays. And yeah, she's good at punishing, you know, heroes like Li Ming that are reliant on skill shots, and you've got that mobility to dance around them. So there you guys go. Give it a thumbs up if you liked the video. Hope you did. Oh, by the way, this dude at the end on the enemy team, the enemy Li Ming, I think it was, like, started flaming me in German. I think it's flaming. I stuck it in Google Translate. It came back with something weird. You can let me know what it says, but I had a bit of a chuckle anyway. So hey, I mean, like, you gotta be pretty happy with your game if one of the enemy team members starts flaming you afterwards, right? That's what I think. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Bye.